Yeah.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, hit it.
That was really tough,
Big
babe.
intro.
Wow.
Big intro for our song.
No, you had it in ya.
Terry Crews is here. I
Gotta bring the A game.
hit it, babe.
When the kids go to sleep.
I love that. I love it.
Well, yeah, we try to do the soft sweetness as we come in.
Well,
into
the intro,
podcast.
I was ready for some.
You were like, dun, 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 Terry Crews.
Yeah.
It's like, dun, dun, dun.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Welcome to the podcast When the Kids Go to Sleep. Acronyms.
What is it?
WTKGTS. It's your favorite downloadable podcast for free. Links below right here at Maker Studios in Los Angeles, California. Here we are.
That's us.
With
Here
the
we are.
man. Let me just say this. The #1 movie in the nation right
Yeah.
now, Expendables 2, Terry Crews
Hey,
is
hey.
in
Sitting right
studio
next to him,
All
right
with us.
right. 2 weeks in a row.
Dude, you've
2
been
weeks in a
killing
row.
it.
Way awesome.
Killing it.
I'll take
I
it.
love the previews for that. It just we went and saw Paranorman this weekend, and I saw it was like the Last Supper poster with everybody on there, and it's like those are some of the baddest dudes ever to grace the silver screen.
It's so true.
And you're right in there, dude.
Oh, it's nothing like, especially with that poster, nothing like mixing with your religion with like a frivolous action movie.
I know, right?
I was like, yeah,
sacrilegious, but
it's
I mean,
holy. Sly,
you got
is
Sly
Jesus.
right
that
there.
Was wonderful,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm sure he loved that photo shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ego stroke was
That's
great.
what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure we have a lot of questions from Twitter about like who was your favorite person to work with, but you gotta like when you show up for set with dudes like Jason Statham and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these dudes, there's got to be a little bit of like, I'm gonna do a few push-ups before I walk in there. I look a little pumped.
yeah, definitely. I mean, and the thing is, I knew what I brought to the thing. It was the physicality, and I would do the push-ups, I would do some pull-ups right before I got out of the trailer,
Heck yeah.
Whatever I had to do.
Right.
And then you get that little breathing, and you walk the chest out, and then you start, what I love is you mistakenly bump into a guy. Sorry about that.
okay.
Sorry, bro.
You know?
Yeah.
So you can feel the try as the
Bam.
pump, and
Oh my goodness.
it was good. It was it was like the badass convention.
Totally.
It was good.
How was it? Was there that like competitiveness, or was there kind of like a camaraderie? Like, we're cool, but what did you feel that kind of like?
Yeah, did you feel any
dude,
competition between
that-
any
that,
of them,
like,
or was
kinda
it
like-
more?
Well, this is the thing. There really wasn't a lot of competition because you already knew why you were there. It was like, this is Sly. This was Sly's baby.
Yeah.
He created it. He directed it. And this was from the first one. This is like his thing that, here you got a guy who was 63 years old and told Hollywood he wanted to make an action movie, and they laughed at him. Like literally, every studio he went to, they were like, "Get out of here, slamming doors, you're done."
Really?
One of his roles that he did was like in Spy Kids 2 or something.
Yep.
He had been kind of out of the loop.
Right.
And you talking about he went to Avi Lerner, who was another guy over at Millennium Studios, who decided to just take a chance. And it turned out to be the biggest movie in the
Good
world.
thing he did.
And that's the thing, he's a force of nature. So when you're talking about we're on there, Sly walks in, the pecking order is set.
Right.
You know what I mean? The forearms, he comes in,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? Hey, Terry, get over there. And you're like, yeah, whatever. And then Arnold comes in, and you're like, oh man, that's Terminator. That's like,
the
first of all, he's fresh off being the governor of California.
Right. The leader of this state. Yeah.
What competition? You know what I mean?
That's
I was like,
true.
dude, I didn't govern anything.
Yeah. You're the governor of your household.
Yeah, right. You have if he would walk up to you and be like, "Bitch," you'd be like, "Okay,
I'm sorry."
You just feel what the power is, and it would have looked insane to even try to come at those guys that way.
Yeah.
So it was like you had to come humble,
right?
And it was like sports. When you got a guy who's got all the honors, who's got all the Pro Bowls, all the stuff, you see Wayne Gretzky and you're a hockey player, you just bow down.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just don't even try.
Out of respect. Yeah. So speaking of which, he played in the NFL for 7 years. You played for 4 or 5 teams. How many teams did you play with?
6 teams in 7 years. Wow. It was Rams, Packers, Chargers, Redskins, Eagles. Then I spent a stint in between the Chargers and the Redskins. I was in the World Football League in Germany, Dusseldorf, Germany.
Nice. Do you have a favorite team? Can you say what's your favorite team to play for?
You know what? I have favorite teams for favorite reasons. I love the Rams because they were the team that drafted me in the 11th round.
They
gave me a shot.
Yeah.
I love San Diego because of the area. I fell in
Weather.
love with San Diego. When I got cut, that was crying.
Oh, really?
I was crying. Like tears. It wasn't no man tears. It wasn't that no expression with one tear
one
going.
Single tear.
I was heaving. Like it was an ugly cry.
I do that.
You ever see an ugly cry?
Yeah.
Yeah. When my wife was like, "Come on now, get a hold of yourself."
She slapped you. I just slapped you out. Pull yourself.
I don't feel bad for you anymore. Stop it.
And then my other team was the Redskins because I literally made my best friends there.
Oh, cool.
So it was weird because I had those reasons. Like my best friend to this day is Ken Harvey, who played with the Redskins back in '95, and I was his backup. I literally waited. I wanted him to get hurt so bad.
Right.
He's my best friend, but I was like, dude,
just like
please.
a strain, pulled muscle, anything.
I was tripping him. I was like, I would make sure I drive him so we just bump into stuff. I'll get in an accident or something. You all right? Damn.
You wanted to go in. So you were a linebacker and defensive end.
Both of them. I played both. But
Those
mainly
are tough positions, man.
But mainly it was special teams. For me, that's how I got on and stayed on. The punt team, kickoff return, all that stuff. It's a whole little science in itself.
Totally.
And that's how you stay.
Yep, is getting on. And those are the fast, because I remember on those, kickoffs, you were running. Like, it's like, you see Last of the Mohicans when those dudes, are coming and they're running towards each other, like, that's what those kickoffs are like.
Yeah.
It's like you're full speed going at each other.
Yeah, it's like the British versus the Revolution, where they just keep walking and they get shot. And you're just like, why don't you duck?
I know. Why were they so dumb back then?
That?
Like, hide behind a rock or something. Why do you do that?
That was the honor and the way the British would do it.
Totally.
And they just shot them right down and mowed them down. But see, my thing, they actually outlawed the way it's done now. When I was playing, you could have a wedge. And now in the NFL, you can't have that, like 5 guys that set up behind the ball carrier. And my job was a wedge buster. So you would have to
fly in and
dude,
hit
you're
that
running
wall.
at 50 yards, literally at about 17 miles an hour.
I thought you were going to say 50 miles an hour.
No.
You can run
No. But you're running. You're streaking.
You're sprinting
down that field as fast as you can, and you just collide into
that
a
wall
of humanity. And my big highlight.
Sounds exciting.
I was knocked out on the Monday Night Football.
Oh my God.
I knocked myself out. I hit the ball carrier so hard, I knocked myself out. And I remember I was laying out there. It was the Chargers versus the Colts. I get to the sideline, and I'm like, they're like, good job, that was great. And I'm like, I'd already been out for probably 10 seconds. So I look on the other end, and I'm looking over at the other sideline. I'm like, what does the U mean? What is the U? That's the Colts. It's the horseshoe. And I'm like, are we in Utica?
University?
I'm like, you in Utica? When did Utica get a team? And they were like, dude, are you all right? I was like, no. And then they called punt team. And I was like, I'm on punt team. But what's a punt? What is a punt? And I had no idea.
Wow,
let me tell you, I
that's
freaked
scary.
out.
Yeah.
I freaked out. Like I was going, man, what's a punt? What's a punt? Because I knew.
What's that play?
I knew I had a job.
Right.
And I knew I would get fired if I didn't do it. But I didn't know what my job was. I was like, punt team. Oh my God.
What do I do?
And they called me in, and I had smelling salts, and they put me in the locker room for a halftime. And literally, I went back out. Once they pieced my memory back, I went back out and played the rest of the game. But see, back then, they called it dinged up. Were you married at
the time?
Yeah, I've been married for 23
years. What did your wife
years.
Say?
Oh, she saw it on TV on Monday Night Football. She's like, oh my God.
I would have
and she freaked.
too.
She's like, he's laying out there. He's laying.
Yeah.
And she was done, she saw me just go limp.
Yeah.
And she was like, and then she saw me get up. She's like, whoa, he's okay. But I wasn't okay.
Right.
But see, now, if you get dinged like that, they take you out.
Totally.
You're done. Like you can't even admit that anymore in the league if you had a concussion, because that was a straight concussion is what it was.
Totally.
But the league has changed so much. It's just really crazy.
To protect the players.
Well, yeah.
And their wives. Protect their wives.
Are you for the change?
Here.
Yeah, what happened?
There we go. I'm too heavy for
these chairs. You just have a concussion, bro. The earth is
massive for these chairs.
Too massive.
Little girly chairs.
Which reminds me of your bicep.
What did we just say?
It's my baby. These are my babies. Hey, baby. How you doing?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, I got a story
like
about
that.
this. I got a story about this one.
Tell me about it.
I actually was on Jimmy Kimmel show. Now this is age talking, okay? I was on the show. The first Expendables had just come out. The premiere was that night. We were doing a Jimmy Kimmel show. We were doing a skit called Expendables Cleaning Service. So I'm lifting up a couch, and Randy Couture is vacuuming underneath, and Dolph has got a cake. He's like, I must bake you, you know? It was really funny. And they had a fake Jimmy Kimmel mom sitting on the couch. I lift the couch with the fake mom on there, and my bicep blows. Pow! Comes right off the bone, rolls up into my arm.
While they were airing, or were you practicing?
While they were filming.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm freaking out.
You can't let go of the couch.
Oh no, I did let go of the couch. It didn't fall too hard. I kind of let it down.
Yeah.
I'm like, something's wrong. Like something's wrong. And you should have saw all the people just ran, like all the PAs. They ran out of the room. Because they knew something's wrong. They're like, well, you're not going to do this. You know, we're going to get sued. And I just was like freaking because I knew something was wrong. And I felt like I was going to pass out because it was bleeding inside and all that. Oh, it was crazy. And that thing was rolled up like a big ball. Inside and I got it surgically reattached. They used Kevlar, the bulletproof material, sewed the frayed tendons into the Kevlar and anchored it back into my arm. What? They built me back better than ever.
You're like Will Smith on iRobot. He has that one arm that's like a robot.
Modern science. You ever see a guy? Now, this is old days.
It's impressive. Like, just looking at it, it's like hurting my eyes.
It's back. But see, you see where they anchored it?
Yeah.
But see, let me tell you something. Back in the old days, you ever see a guy who had like one arm shorter than the other?
Yeah.
He couldn't fix it.
No.
Right.
You know, you ever see that guy who's limping forever?
Yeah.
He pulled a ham and they couldn't put it back.
Yeah. But today,
you're bionic. You can be better than before.
So do you have to like when you're doing curls and stuff? Do you have to be careful with that arm, or you just let it go?
You blast it. I mean, because if you are careful, it'll never come back.
You have to strengthen it.
Yeah. And so you gotta trust it. There's like a little psychological thing where you're like, don't do it again.
Right. I know what you mean.
And you hear that.
No! I have an ankle, like, because I'm trying to qualify for the Boston Marathon, and I've been going on these long runs, and I had this little thing with my ankle, but it's such a mental thing. I'm just like, you're fine. I'm like talking to my ankle. Yeah. You're strong. You have to carry this body 26 miles, and then just try to eat a lot. 26.2.
It's true, and it's nerves. It's just the nerve, but you're really building up the muscle, and you gotta fake out your body.
Right.
They got this spray on soccer players. They just put this spray on them.
Ice spray or something.
But it doesn't do anything. It just gives them the sensation of something was done. It's a total placebo.
Like somebody runs out and they're, okay, you're fixed. Go get him.
And it's a lie.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And they believe the lie. It's so nasty.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit, because there is some truth that, I mean, I've learned that by running marathons, that your mind is way stronger than your body is.
Yep.
And that comes true not only for like sports and playing football and, having giant bulging biceps, but just in life in general, just like succeeding and like working hard towards something. What do you use? Like, how do you get over that? Because it seems like, you're so successful, dude. You've been on in all these movies. You're on HBO's The Newsroom right now, which is a huge show, one of the best shows on TV. You're on the #1 movie in the world right now. You're blowing up. By the way, you're also in a movie coming up with my buddy Kasim.
Yes.
That I don't know the whole thing of it, but I was talking to Kasim. He's like, "Oh yeah, Terry Crews is in that."
That's the Aztec Warrior.
So you're blowing up, man, and you've been a professional football player. What is the secret? Because some people may say, well, he was just born lucky, or like, how do you do that? How do you overcome all the obstacles and that kind of stuff?
I'm going to give everybody the secret right now. Failure.
Right.
Massive amounts of failure. You have to fail many, many, many times. I am a glutton for punishment. Like, my mother used to be like, how could you keep going for this stuff? And you just breaking my heart. Like, I'm that guy who ran. The only reason I made it in the NFL was my ability to take pain.
Right.
Because I would literally run into a wall over and over and over and over and over and over again until the guys were like, you make the team,
Yeah. It's like the Rudy.
You're just not going to stop.
Yeah.
You're just going to,
It's like the Rudy complex.
And and you just... I failed so many times. That's why I was on 6 teams in 7 years. What I would do is so funny. There were so many NFL, college superstars who you couldn't tell anything to because they never failed. ever. They've been pampered since they were babies, and they get up to the NFL, and the coach says, "You're going the wrong way. What the?" And they shut down like, "What? What?
Right.
You talk to me like that?" Me, I was like, "Yeah, I'm used to going the wrong way." You know what I mean? I'm like, "I'm good.
Yeah.
What's going on?"
Yeah.
So I go this way now. And they're like,
Yeah.
and I just do it. And I would wait for those guys to crumble, and that's how I would make the team.
It's your golden moment.
And I learned that's what happened in entertainment. I would go into auditions and be literally kicked out. One lady was like, "Dude, you're off. Get out. You're done. out." And I was like, "Oh, what? You didn't like it like that?" Said, "No, it's done. It's over. Goodbye." You know?
You just kick out.
And I would just fail and go back, and I would call my agent and be like, "Can I get any feedback?" They're like, "Terry, you don't want to hear this feedback."
They have a restraining order against you now.
I mean, fail. Never get it. And then all of a sudden you get it.
Yep.
And then you go, "Oh, I get it. The key is never stop."
Yep.
Never
Because
quit.
they will give it to you if you just are relentless. But right now people give that lip service because it just sounds real positive.
It's a
and
cliche, right?
It's so cliche.
So here's my saying. I have a saying that the secrets to life are hidden behind the word cliche. Like all that crap that you gloss over. Because as people, we're kind of like taught that it's like, okay, never give up, always try, don't listen to the haters, blah, blah, blah. And it does. It seems like, but guess what?
But what can I really do?
That's it. That is the real secret. People like Terry Crews, who is so hugely successful in every aspect of his life. He's never quit. He's never listened to any of the naysayers. He's fought over and over and over, and you'll figure it out one day. It takes a lot of time, too. You have to be patient. Eventually, you will get what you're trying for. If you never quit, you never give up, you're that little train that thought he could, you will do it!
Yes!
And you'll get more. Did you ever expect that you'd be where you are today?
Never. Let me tell you, I never, ever thought I would ever. This is more than I could ever ask or think. And it's just in the ability to fail again and again.
Right.
My family, we have a saying with the kids and everything. It's like, I look at them, I'm like, what do we say? I tell them, what do I say? And they go like, "These haters can't hold me back." We say it all over the house. We're like, "These haters can't hold me back." And I want to ingrain in their head that these haters cannot hold you back. And the thing is that I just learned, and I'm trying to teach my kids this because this is the thing. Everybody thinks talent is it.
Right.
Like everybody thinks everything's like he's natural. There's no such thing as a natural. It's never existed.
Right.
At any given time, anybody who you love and you love watching what they do at one time in their life, they didn't know anything about it.
Totally.
And it's all just ingrained effort and work and feedback, positive, good feedback to help you correct your mistakes. Right. That's it. And you can say it sounds cliche. That was a great thing you said, man, because it's hidden behind a cliche.
Right.
And it sounds so like, oh, all right, but see, you got to believe it.
Right. That's the thing. Because people, they're like, well, what's the real secret? Like, obviously you had some, like, hand up or something.
Right.
No. And that's why it's hidden. Like, the cliches, and it's almost like you hear those so much that it's so easy for people to, like, whatever. But I feel like once I finally realized that, because when I recently lost 115 pounds, and it was like going through that and trying to train for my marathon, it was like, man, like, I've just kept working at this, and it's like, wow, I'm like actually doing it. And you start to see that little bit of success, and then you get in that, it's like this success
feed off of it.
cycle where like you have a little bit of success, so you see results, so it motivates you a little bit. So you're like, I guess I'll keep trying. So then you see a few more results, and it's like, eventually,
you lost a person.
Yeah, dude. I lost someone to her.
A human being.
That's how much she weighs.
I know. You lost
I had
your
two
wife.
wives before, and now I just settled for the hot one.
Oh my God!
I got that ugly one out of there.
That's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? And see, that is a testament in itself, because I'm gonna tell you, this is where trainers mess people up. I've had trainers who totally just want to prove that you could never do what they do. And they have you paying.
I know what you mean.
Just to say like, oh, this
You're not
poor
as good
guy.
as me.
Right.
And they go to blast you. Like they want you, unless you're in pain and you feel like you're sick and you're throwing up, they're like, yeah, that's a workout now. Yeah, look at you. Yeah, you hurt, you can't walk. Great.
Yeah.
And the whole point is, what I tell people is treat the gym like a spa. The first time you ever go, just go in there and walk around. Touch the weights, get a drink of water, walk around, and then leave.
Right.
And I mean, literally do that for like a week, 2 weeks, until you just get to the habit of getting in that door. Because what's going to happen is eventually you're going to start lifting because you're there.
Yeah.
And you're going to do something. And then you stop. Don't ever get to the point where you're like, I can't feel my arm. It doesn't work. I've been working. People want, they want my body and all this stuff, but I've been working out consistently since I was 14 years old.
Right.
And I'm 44. I've 30
years
of hardcore 2-hour workout. 30 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen overnight.
Nope.
You just have to enjoy the process.
Totally.
Learn to enjoy it, because I'm sure there was a point where you started to enjoy losing 113 pounds.
Yep.
And that's the only way you're going to keep going.
It's true, because you will reach that mountain. Like, sometimes I realize that too, because after I finished, because I was working towards a goal. I was working to run the LA Marathon. And once I kind of had to go through that realization, is once I accomplished it and once I ran that marathon, it's like, now what? You know what I mean? But the sooner you realize, like, it's all about the journey, not the destination. Like, just waking up and enjoying the place that you're at. You know what I mean? Like, just really genuinely, like, I'm in a good place because you've been working over. And I like what you said, 30 years. Look at these, baby. You want these?
That's 30 years.
30 years.
You ruined it.
I broke him again.
It popped off again. I'm sorry. I just love that.
Oh,
She's about
I'm
as
used to
big
it.
as you guys, so.
I'm married to him. I'm used to it.
Okay.
There's just like that. I remember hearing this story about there's this lady sitting down playing this piano like so beautifully and just like amazing pianist, and then there's this other lady who's like, oh my, I wish I could play the piano like that. And the lady playing the piano is like, no, you don't. She's like, what do you mean? Yes, I do. I wish I could play the piano like that. And the lady's like, no, you don't. You don't wish you could play that. She's like, how dare you? Why would you say that I don't? I'm telling you, I wish I could play the piano like that. And the lady playing the piano stopped and she said, if you really wish that you could play the piano like that, you would have put in the time. You would have taken the time, 20 years, to sit down like I have and played and practice. You can have these kind of biceps if you put in the time. So don't say, I wish I could do that, because you don't unless you put the time in. You have to go out and do it. But you can have it. That's the thing. If you want to play the piano, if you want biceps like Terry Crews, if you want to be in a movie with Sylvester Stallone, that might not happen because anyway. But
it could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
But it's just all about having that dream, and it's like, that's what I always say, the secrets are hidden behind the word cliche. But next time, try to adjust your thinking. Next time you hear something that sounds like a cliche, instead of saying like, that's just a cliche, perk your ears up. Those are the times where you have to really listen. Those are the times where it's like, guess what? That's what we've all been looking for. The never quitting, the always, fighting, what would you say? The haters can't get us down.
No hate. These haters can't hold us back.
These haters can't hold us back.
That's
I came up with, when I was running my marathon, you got to drink a lot of Haterade before you get to the end of the marathon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the
it's
same
delicious.
thing. Yeah.
Haterade is delicious.
I like the
It's
wild
good on my
cherry.
lips.
And we were talking about this in another podcast, that a lot of times when people like hate on you or they say, negative things towards you, it's really a self-introspection of themselves, where they're just jealous that they don't have what you have, and so they try to pull you down because misery loves company.
When I talk about haters, it's kind of crazy, because it's really, the haters are in your mind.
Right.
That's the most dangerous part, because you hear judges constantly telling you when you walk into a new room, and this is a weird observation. I'm gonna tell you, and it blows people away. You take a white guy, you put him in the most dangerous hood in America, and he sees a bunch of gang members, and he walks down the street, and he has to walk through those guys to get across the street. And of course, he's feeling nervous. He's feeling nothing, but they're like, oh no, they're gonna beat you up. They're gonna do that. And you're hearing what you call the judges.
Right.
And then you have to walk through them and all. And it's the guy who has none of that, who has no problem in that. Like they can sense when you're all scared of them. But if you're like, hey, what's up, guys? They're like, hey, that dude's cool.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But most black men have the same feeling when they go into a bank.
Really?
It's the same exact feeling. I mean, they see a bunch of white guys in suits and they go, oh my God, I'm so scared. They're not going to want me. And you hear those judges and you got to walk through that member. You're like, oh, they're going to judge me. But if a guy who's like whatever, black or white, and you have none of that.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you.
Yeah. He's cool.
But see, people don't see it that way. They always see it that one way, but they never, I know for a fact, I can tell you, I felt that fear. And you gotta get rid of those haters in your mind.
Right. It's
now,
all in your mind. It starts
it's
there.
totally it. And then the judgments that you hear and you accept, you start putting that on other people.
Totally.
So
true.
when a hater tells you, "Oh man, you can't do that," that's because he's hearing that in his head.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or you can't lose all that weight. That's because he hasn't lost weight.
And he doesn't want to. He's afraid of the work that it will take for them to do it.
It's
totally.
all fear. It's all it's a wild mix. And I just when I'm talking about that, it's like in your own brain. There are times when I do something so idiotic in front of a group of people just so I can get used to getting away from, like fitting in or whatever. I'll do some stupid stuff. I'll just say something dumb, deflect your chin. And it's like, who cares?
Right.
Who cares?
Totally.
I mean, if I wear something dumb, who cares? I walk around with a wig on, who cares? It's not, you can't judge me. I have no shame. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Exactly.
And that is where I started to go, like, now I can go and be free.
Because there's nothing holding you back. It's just
nothing holding you back.
Yeah.
Get out of your mind, guys.
There's nothing
Get
holding you
out of
back.
it.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hallelujah. I'm saying that, brother. What are we on time? 5 minutes?
We are.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll talk about in the next hour. We have Terry Crews for
We're going to
2.5
talk about
hours.
his wife.
His beautiful wife. How long have you been married now?
23 years.
23
So
glorious
awesome.
years. And I mean, you're getting more and more famous in Hollywood, so that's probably gonna end pretty soon then.
Never.
She's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
She
No hater's
headbutted
gonna
me
hold
this
you
morning.
down.
She headbutted me.
Tougher than any linebacker you ever went up against in the league.
Well, stay tuned. We're going to have a second episode.
Second
We'll talk all
episode
about
with
that.
Terry Crews. Like I said, the #1 movie in the country right now, Expendables 2. Go see it. Check him out on Twitter. Follow him at all the spots. We're going to talk about his involvement with Maker Studios coming up next. And check out the newsroom. When is the next season start?
It looks like October. They're gonna start filming it and
Right away.
we'll put it right out. Yeah,
That's gonna blow up, man.
Oh, dude,
It already has a little bit, but Jeff Daniels, I love him in that position.
It's just it's so cool to be a part of like something that could get honors.
Big, yeah.
Absolutely.
Before that, like I used to, I farting on screen and pulling cheeseburgers out of my pants. Now I'm like, wow.
You're singing that. I was just watching on White Chicks. What was that song? You're in that convertible car. You start singing.
1,000 miles.
Yeah. If I could walk. See, that's the perfect example of not caring, because it's like, and that's why it's so
Most
funny.
people would be
Because
scared
you're
to
this
do that.
big bad black dude singing. If I could, you know what I mean? That's what's so funny about it.
I'm
not caring.
confident.
Yeah.
I'm confident in I got my wife. I got my kids. I can do anything.
That's
Yep.
it. That's it. All right. So from Maker Studios in Los Angeles, California,
When the kids go to sleep.
right here with
Or
Terry
soccer
Crews.
practice.
Click on the link right here. Go check out the second one
Yes.
right now. We're gonna go pee-pee in the potty, and we'll be right back. When the kids go to sleep, yeah.